Hello, this is my Module 8 mobile computing proposal presentation. And to start off, I chose the grade levels, grades K through 3, to start off for this presentation and why my school would need mobile computing in their learning system. So I started with K through 3 because as the ages today of technology are growing every single day, every year, I feel like there's a new technology that teachers have to use or students have to learn. So I figured that it's very important for mobile computing to start in K through 3, to start them off as early as possible. Yes, they're still learning, colors, ABCs, how to write, little things like that, but they also have the attention span of a child, like a small child. And granted, age grade 3 can get up to 9, so it'll connect to English studies, math, science, little things like that. And the age of just reading a book is leaving. Slowly but surely is leaving, and we need to grow with that. Now, I'm not saying take away them completely, but um, kids today and kids later will need to have multiple kinds of ways to study and learn because not everybody learns the same. And teachers also need to realize that. So here's my proposal. The problem and why schools need a mobile computing system is it gives the teachers a chance to understand the students. There's limited access everywhere. So if you think back to like 10 years ago, there was maybe a cart for assessments and maybe some computers in the library to do research. And every year, more things are being given. Smart boards are being added. Kindles are being given to the classroom for reading. And granted, still books are still available. But some fundings aren't going to allow the teachers to have what they need at that given time for their students. I believe I was maybe a freshman in high school where there were 4 computers in the classroom and there was 20 of us. Got a little hard. And then by the time I was a sophomore in high school, everyone in the school had a Chromebook. And then mobile learning was implemented in each and every class, saying to make sure you check your emails, make sure you check Blackboard to get yourselves acquainted with the assignments. And even if we have a snow day, and are able to come to school, you should still be working on these things at home. So K through 3 really has the ability to jumpstart their need for online learning. As every grade that they surpass, they're going to need it more and more and more, especially when they become to college level. There is also the problem is that there are various learning styles and teaching styles. And the problem with that is because back in the day, everyone was taught that you need to teach this way, you need to give them notes, handouts, etc., etc. Well, this technology is giving teachers and students a different way to learn and communicate with each other. The cost. Here's a very big question. I'll come back to the solution of our problem in a second. So, the research I did says that schools should expect $75,000 to $125,000 on a wireless network infrastructure plus an additional staff member to maintain the network. High quality learning networks will need to be updated every 2 or 3 years, while the cost varies depending on the school and district and needs of each school. It's estimated to be a few thousand additional dollars every 2 to 3 years to keep up with the times. So when you think of an update, you think of a phone or a computer, and every few months or so you'd have to update that. Well, imagine doing that on a bigger scale. Except you can wait longer because you'll have someone maintaining it every day, and then eventually that technology will be old and you need to update it in a different way. It also said that there's an additional $21,000 for training and development for faculty members. So I already know that teachers today go to meetings to have training on new technology that is brought into the classroom that administration want them to implement in their classroom. So that costs money to bring someone out and to teach them these techniques that they need to be learning. Now, granted, they might not use it all the time, but some administrations and higher ups in the education department really believe that they have to put these techniques in their classroom in order to better class scores and attention spans and learning techniques and etc. Technology specifically, iPad touches cost anywhere between $200 to $400. So if you think K through 12, and like 80 to 100 students maybe per classroom, that comes up to a pretty penny. Netbooks cost $300 to $600 each, so depending on how many netbooks each classroom will need, that will factor in. And laptops are $500 to $2,000 each, so depending on the brand and depending on the network that the school chooses to use, will depend on that cost as well. Because laptops can either be given to the students. I do not believe kindergartners are going to be using laptops, maybe iPads, maybe Kindles for reading, but I doubt any laptops. First graders, maybe. Second graders, probably. And third graders, absolutely. Third grade is around the time where kids are introduced to English and writing papers and etc. So you can either have a tech lab where there can be many computers in one area that classes have to interchange with all the time, or you can implement what schools are doing now and giving them an assigned Chromebooks or laptop to carry with them at all times and bring them to every class fully charged. Okay, so the solution. I had mentioned earlier that a lot of classrooms are implementing smartboards, and smartboards are like the chalkboard but can access internet and interactivity with the students. So if you want to do a studying technique with Kahoot, which is an online learning system that helps a competitive aspect to learning, you can do that. You can upload presentations from PowerPoint to teach a lesson or to integrate a study plan with your students. So that involves the solution for studying techniques, learning strategies, involving the classroom, project-based learning. So instead of giving handouts and wasting paper, you can have it up displayed on the board with instructions, bright, bold, however you want to do it, and have the classroom be working on it at that time. And if they have questions, they can look at the board and then ask the instructor more questions that they need on a timely manner. That way they're not taking it home, bringing it back. No, it's all stuck in the classroom, right there, getting it done. However, it is online learning, so if they do have to go home, this can be uploaded to their core shell and they can implement that structure at home. Also, if they have their own Chromebooks, they can work on that at home depending on technology viewpoints or boxed in areas of what they're able to do at home. Side note, did you know that PowerPoint does not need internet access to work on a Chromebook or computer? So if that was something that you wanted your kids to do, that can work as well. And communication. So a lot of students have to wait the next day to email their students about a difficulty on an assignment or a quick question. K through 3, although kindergartners, I don't necessarily see them communicating really with their teacher, but I think the specific needs is for the communication with the parents and what their student is either lacking on or excelling in, and a lot of parents really want that connection between teacher and student and parent. So the implementation. There are 7 levels that I found of implementation, from levels 0 to level refinement or level 6, 7. As teachers progress one level to the next, a series of instructional changes occur, given to those who often use databases, telecommunications, multimedia, spreadsheets, and graphing applications. So basically what that is saying is, if it's physical education, PE, sure, there can be some health videos or videos on instructions on how to do an activity or a game, but they're really not going to use a whole lot of multimedia type stuff. So they really don't need any computers or technology in their room, maybe just for the instructor itself. However, if you go to a science department or an English department, they're going to be using all kinds of applications to get their desired effect in learning. So that's the tier. And if a subject is wanting to dip more into technology, they can pass through those levels and get a higher up, which will give the administration a more need to bring technology into their classroom. So it's on a timely basis with evidence of that. There are, the impact. So the impact of all of this, of bringing mobile learning into the classroom, is that the evidence of mobile learning shows a significant impact on curriculum, instruction, and learning. Depending on the subject, depends on how often their curriculum is used based on technology. So that's where my physical education aspect came from. Another example would be mathematics. Teachers use a laptop less. However, they are capable of using that classroom technology. So a lot of mathematic assignments are still coming from textbooks, but they can use classroom technology and mobile learning through different kinds of websites to study. K through 3, we think the easiest part of learning math, which could be really difficult for them. So implementing mathematical games to get them to use their brain in a different way instead of just seeing numbers on a board is very, very helpful and has shown evidence of that. It also says that participants are easily able to make connections between the technology they have available and their instructional curriculum. And also, participants are ready and willing to initiate change in their instructional practices. So this is an effect on teachers and students. So if you sit down in a classroom, and if you've seen students sit down in a classroom and just see a giant blackboard with chalk, or just a regular marker board and seeing all these numbers and nothing really exciting, they're like, oh, we don't really want to participate in this. However, if they have their own technology and are able to maneuver things on their own in an individual manner, that makes a difference in their learning. Now, it can also work in project-based learning, and making the communication within the classroom to every student with each other is a huge deal. And it improves the technology-based curriculum with teachers because it makes them expand their horizons. It makes them physically look at more sources to help teach their lesson that they're wanting to achieve. So I think that's it.